We play and call it work.
Hey there, and welcome to another installment of our Cult Mechanicus review.
Hey.
Yeah, like last time, I'm here with Steve,
Hello.
and I am Leland, as you all know. So in this video, we're going to start talking about the unit choices that we have in the book. And we're going to start with the Cataphron Breachers and Destroyers for this video right here.
Yeah. These are my favorite thing in this entire book. Well, the Breachers anyway.
Yeah, these are definitely one of the money choices right here. Just because they have a lot of good stuff. So let's start off. So first off, their stat line itself.
Yep.
Let's go over this. They got a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3, which is whatever. But with the canticles, I mean, you can modify that a little
exactly.
bit. They have a strength and toughness in 5.
Loving that.
This is huge because one of the biggest problems with Ad Mech has been their durability. Their Scutari have all been toughness 3 with armor save of 4.
Right.
The Ruststalkers, the Infiltrators, again toughness 3 with an invulnerable save, a feel no pain, or a 4 armor save type thing. Even the Walkers. I mean, armor 11 Walkers with open top. Sure, you can take a lot of them. They're kind of effective, but they're not hugely durable.
But they were cheap.
They were cheap.
Yeah.
So having a unit with toughness 5.
Toughness 5 and 2 wounds.
And 2 wounds as well, yeah. That's a huge deal. Yeah, so these are
right here.
the Cataphrons. Well, that one's actually the Destroyer right there.
Oh, that is the Destroyer.
Yeah, that one's the Destroyer. The Breacher is this fella right over here. So that's a big deal. I mean, their initiative 3, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
They have the toughness to stay in combat and hit back, which is a big deal.
If they're in combat. I don't want them in combat, but...
Leadership 8, which is, for a troop choice.
Yep.
That's kind of standard.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Now, these guys, they come in a unit of 3 for 150 points, but you can take up to 12 of them.
Yeah.
So for an additional 50 points, a Cataphron Breacher, that's a... You can get a beefy
50
unit.
points for toughness 5, 2 wounds, and 3 up armor. Your best, so far, is the most resilient thing you have in the Scutari or Cult Mechanicus books.
Yeah, no, I really like these, and you can easily create a unit of 12 of these, and they're going to be a nightmare to deal with. I don't care what...
They're going to be expensive.
They're going to be expensive, but I don't care what army you're playing.
Yeah.
That's going to be a nightmare to deal with and handle.
Yeah.
Because they just have staying power. And
you got 600 points for 12 of them.
Yeah. But with 600 points of them, chances are whatever they look at, they're going to make a unit disappear.
Their weapon options are what I'm really loving. In this book, as an ally and everything, their weapons make these things the most appealing thing for anybody. Like I will totally use, how do you say this again? Cataphron Breachers?
Cataphron Breacher.
I will use Cataphron Breachers as an ally for any of my armies because of what they have.
Oh yeah, they're great. Like their basic lowdown. They have
heavy arc rifle.
The heavy arc rifle.
That's
which is fantastic. This is the 36-inch range haywire shot. 2
Strength
shots.
6 AP 5, heavy 2 haywire.
Yeah, and that's massive. And because they have the heavy battle servitor rule, they're relentless.
Yes,
they can't run. But you don't
no running
care.
but relentless. Yeah.
They have the range to not care about running around.
So you can get a troop choice with 36-inch range haywire, which is, I mean, we said like in the last 10 seconds, we said about 3 times.
Yeah.
It is such a big deal.
Haywire. 36-inch range haywire.
36-inch range haywire.
Haywire at 36-inch range.
It's huge.
That's what you're going to take away from this video right now. 36-inch range haywire.
And I'm stuck there because...
It's fantastic. Well, here's the great thing about it. The arc rifles themselves, they're high enough strength.
It's a troop choice.
Yeah. But the fact that these things are strength 6 to begin with.
Yep.
And so... Even against non-vehicles, sure, a lot of the time you're going to be getting saves, but they're going to be...
Even against monstrous creatures, you're still doing work against them.
They're going to be putting wounds on anything that's toughness 6 or lower relatively easily. Now, once you get up to things like the Wraith Knights or some of the tougher critters out there, their return isn't going to be as great, and I think there's better things to shoot at those sort of units. But if you're just taking a standard lowdown of these guys... They're going to cause a bad day for most units that they shoot
it is
at.
not the most overpowered thing in the game. It's not even that overpowered, really. But, I mean, you're getting a solid workhorse here at 50 points a model on a troop choice.
And that's not even talking about their
very
other
bulky,
options.
very bulky.
Yeah, they're very bulky, but, I mean, with no transports in the core book, that's not going to come to play very often.
Right.
Now, I wouldn't mind throwing 3 or 4 of these into a drop pod. And
do you need to with 36-inch range?
I'd like to.
Well, they do also come with arc claws.
Yeah, so that's their close combat thing. It could be upgraded
their arc claw is +1 strength, and they're already strength 5, so strength 6 in combat, AP 5, and haywire in combat.
Yeah, so once again, I mean, you have more haywire on it.
More haywire.
To be honest, I personally probably wouldn't run these guys trying to get them into combat.
No, not at all.
They're there. They can take a charge,
Yeah.
which is really nice. But ideally, I'd rather have them shooting.
I'd rather have them holding my backfield objectives
Yeah.
and shooting at as many vehicles as they possibly can.
Oh, definitely.
And that right there, like adding that into a Space Marine army. Granted, we're hearing the Space Marine, or sorry, Adeptus Astartes book is coming out in a couple of weeks.
You know, we'll get to that.
But adding them to somebody else's army, like these right here have a place in other armies.
Yeah, but you know that's something we're going to talk about in a later video anyway.
Sure.
Because we're going to talk about where the Cult Mechanicus fits into the grander scheme of the Imperial factions. Now, everything we've said, we haven't even touched on their other weapon option.
No,
torsion cannon.
Still upgrades.
And I love the torsion cannon.
Free upgrade,
Yeah,
replacing the arc rifle.
Yeah, so it's a free upgrade. This is for a 24-inch range weapon.
Yep.
So you kind of have to think about that if you want to have the different range bands, right? But the fact that it's a strength 8 AP1 with the gravitic contortion, I like this guy. He's a monstrous killer creature. This one.
Yeah.
You throw this even at a Wraith Knight, I mean...
It loses D3 wounds instead of 1.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mini D weapon, almost, in that regard. Not quite as potent, but it's kind of a nice... That's the closest analog I can think of.
Yeah.
And I really like it. Like, I built them up so the Cataphrons that we currently have, there's 2 arc rifles and 1 torsion cannon, right?
If the arc rifle was the same range, there'd be no question. This is the better weapon.
Yes.
No question.
Yeah, but because the arc rifle has
this is a great. I'm not going to deny it. This is a great weapon. 24-inch range, strength 8, AP1, D3 wounds or D3 hull points. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, it's kind of overshadowed by the 36-inch range haywire.
Well, the other thing that kind of overshadows it, and why I'd never want to make a whole unit of these, it's still a single shot weapon.
Yes. Well, yeah. Skill 3.
Ballistic skill 3. So I really like it, and I feel that you should have...
You can have a combination if you want.
I like the idea of 1 gravitic torsion cannon for every 2 arc rifles.
Okay, so mix them up.
I kind of like that. I feel that, sure, you're not always going to be able to make full effect of all the range bands, but having that sort of flexibility is really nice. And because they have the Relentless for the heavy battle servitors and whatnot, mobility isn't a huge concern, because you essentially make it a 30-inch threat range.
To read the heavy battle servitors rule is models with this special rule cannot make run moves.
Yeah.
But can fire up to 2 weapons in each shooting phase.
Yeah.
Models count as stationary when firing heavy or salvo weapons.
Yeah. So you're not going to see the 2 weapon thing as often on this one. That's going to be something that comes into play with the destroyers. Yeah. But it's a great platform. This can either be a fantastic backfield defender, or if you want to ally it in and find a way to get it into an opponent's backfield.
So far, it's the least mobile thing we've seen in the game.
It's about on par. Well,
because you can't run.
Well, neither can the Doomcrawler, but the Doomcrawler at least ignores difficult.
Which one's the Doomcrawler?
The crab tank.
Oh, I didn't know it couldn't run.
Yeah, it can't run.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a walker that can't run, but it ignores all difficult terrain, so it doesn't. You don't have to roll d6 for it. But yeah, I love the breachers because no matter where you put them, there's something that your opponent will have to deal with. I love them. Now, having said that, I think you need to run them in larger units than 3. I think if you have them in just units of 3, they're not quite up to snuff.
Well, talking in that respect, with the Canticles of Omnissiah special rule, isn't multiple squads of 3 worthwhile?
They're worthwhile. I'm just more concerned with anything that can kill them are going to run through 3 of them very quickly. And that's the big concern. Like, you fire, say, a battle cannon at them, right?
Yeah.
And a battle cannon's going to eat through them pretty quickly. Like, granted, they're only going to be... A battle cannon's only going to be able to do 3 wounds tops because of 3 hits. But it's one of those things that if somebody happens to bring the rock to your paper, that rock is... Or, sorry, the rock to your scissors, that rock is going to go through it pretty fast.
I'm in the boat of... Yeah, that's a very valid argument. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm in the boat of... I like having the option of only firing 3 guys over here and then see how they do. And maybe the next squad of 3 guys maybe finishes off, or it's already dead and they fire over here. More squads is more options.
What I would actually do, I think I'd like to run them in units of 4. 4? Yeah, add 1 more. That's 2 more bladed wounds right there.
How would you weaponize
Probably another arc rifle.
So 2 and 2?
No, 3 and 1.
Oh, arc rifles are stock. So 3 arc rifles, 3 haywires, and 1...
Yeah. That's how I'd probably run it. So you're spitting out 6 arc rifle shots a turn.
And it's 200 points for those.
Yeah, and then 1 torsion cannon. So you're firing out 7 high strength shots, and having those extra ablative wounds means that if you do encounter anything like say grav weapons from Space Marines or melta guns or something like that, or even D weapons to an extent.
Yeah.
I feel like you just have a little bit more staying power, and you're not putting a lot of points into it. Like 200 points for 4 units that can put out a lot of high strength shots. I like that.
For me, 200 points is like the area where I want to keep all my units at or below.
Now, if you had to upgrade to the arc rifle or the torsion cannon, and you had to pay points for it, I'd probably be more on the boat of 3 units or 3 models to that unit.
Yeah.
But because you get the free upgrade to it, I think that's a huge deal right there.
And their last possibility, they have any model may replace its arc claw with a hydraulic claw.
Yeah, so
for 10 points a model.
So that basically gives them the mini smash rule.
Oh, okay, that was the one that was the thing I wasn't really...
they go down to 1 attack, but it's double strength and it's AP2. I don't think.
Well, they're only 1 attack anyway.
That is true.
Yeah, these guys are only 1 attack.
That is true. I didn't consider that. So I mean, it's not bad for 10 points though. I don't know if I want to be getting these guys into combat.
It's unwieldy. Yeah. No, I don't want them in combat. I wouldn't pay for the upgrade. They have a great gun or great pair of guns if you want to upgrade the other one.
Like here's the thing: you get them in the combat. They don't have the attacks to eat through a squad very fast.
No, they're gonna either hold or run.
Yeah, and you're gonna want them to be shooting more often than not. So I mean the hydraulic claw is neat, but unless you absolutely have to kill that backfield vehicle or that backfield monstrous creature, I don't see the point in paying for those upgrades.
And the models they're beautiful.
Yes, they're very nice.
Everything so far has been absolutely amazing for this codex.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to getting them on the table.
Oh,
I really am. Because as of right now, I only got them painted up just recently, and I haven't had a chance to play with them yet. So I'm really looking forward to getting them.
How do you have yours modeled?
I have 2 with the arc rifles, 1 with the torsion cannon.
Gotcha.
For the breachers. Yeah. But let's move on to the next one. We have the Kataphron destroyers. So these have a lot of the same traits as the breachers. The big difference though is that they have 1 worse armor save. They have a 4-up armor save, but they have the same stat line across the board, which is
and they're 5 points more model. They're 55.
Yeah, they're 5 points more model, but there's a reason for this.
Yep.
Their stock loadout is a heavy phosphor blaster. A phosphor blaster, which in and of itself is the so it's the strength 5 AP4.
You know what? it has 3 modes of fire. The lowest one.
No, you're looking at phosphor weapons. It has the phosphor blaster.
Oh.
Yeah. So the phosphor blaster itself it's pretty solid. I would have liked it to be the heavy phosphor blaster, to be honest.
That's what I was just reading. If it was a heavy phosphor blaster, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, the heavy phosphor blaster would have been great at strength 6 AP3 with the Luminogen. I mean, the phosphor blaster on its own is not terrible. AP4 is still going to eat through a lot of basic infantry, which isn't too bad.
24-inch range, strength 5 AP4, rapid fire.
Yeah, and that comes stock.
Yeah.
The other thing it's
a Necron Gauss blaster.
Yeah, more or less.
Without Gauss, you get Lumigen instead.
Yeah, you can reduce cover saves. The other thing it has base is the plasma culverin.
Yep.
Which is basically it's the 2-shot plasma cannon.
Yep.
So sacrificing a little bit of range. Now, on its own, this is a good weapon.
Yeah.
Because you're going to put out a lot of templates in that regard, and because it's a template, the ballistic skill 3 isn't a huge deal, which is really nice. So I like it, but when you compare it to the other option.
Well, so they do have the special rule where they're able to fire both those guns.
Yes.
So they're firing 2 weapons apiece. Now, one thing I don't like about, I'm going to ask you a question about rules here. I hate things that slow down the game. These guys all have a heavy 2 gets hot weapon.
Yep.
So you got to roll every guy one at a time.
Yep. Yep. But here's the thing. When you can look at the heavy grav cannon as a free upgrade, how many people are taking the plasma culverin?
So plasma culverin is basically a short-range plasma cannon.
Yeah.
Upgrade to heavy grav cannon. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So for a free upgrade, you're adding 6-inch range, which is huge. You're wounding on whatever the armor save is. So against
the grav weapon, salvo 4/6.
Yeah. So against say like guardsmen, whatever. But you're not firing net guardsmen with this. You're looking at the big meaty targets with the good armor saves. You're looking at the Terminators, the Wraith Guards. You're looking at the Necron. What are they called? The Lich Guard.
Yep. You're
looking at a lot of things with a 3+ or a 2+ armor save.
Wounding everything on 3s, no save.
Yeah.
Concussive. That is scary.
Yeah. So
because they do remain, the counters remain stationary because of their heavy battle servitor special rule.
Yeah.
So they're always firing 6 shots. It's a free upgrade, 30-inch range. Missed that the first time I went through this.
Yeah, you know what? If the heavy grav cannon was an upgrade that you had to pay for, I'd
probably still pay for it.
I'd probably still pay for it, but at the same time, all of a sudden you now have to make the choice: do you pay the extra points or you just stick with the plasma culverin? Because it's a free upgrade, I say hands down the grav cannon is the better shot. And this is because a lot of things that have that 2-up save or that 3-up save, they're on bigger bases. So your small blast from the plasma culverin's only going to be hitting 2, maybe 3 at best. So whereas with the heavy grav cannon, you're getting 6 shots. You can potentially get 6 hits.
Yeah.
No.
You're averaging.
Yeah. You're averaging 3 from one unit. But still, like, averaging 3 from one unit is better than averaging 2.
So, no, they're already increased in point cost.
Yeah.
Do you make this squad bigger? Oh, wait, hold on. Before we discuss that, you can also replace the Phosphor Blaster, that's a Strength 5 AP4 rapid fire gun, to a Cognis Flamer, which is just I think it's a regular flamer? No, it's a heavy flamer that auto has 3 hits on the wall flame special rule.
To be honest, not worth the 5 points.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. These guys, I don't want them close to combat, is the thing.
And you know, and that's why I think I would take them, because if you're across the field from them and you want to charge them and you know you're going to take 9 Strength 5 AP4 hits just for say I'm going to charge you, I think it's worth the 15 points you're paying for a small squad.
The only reason I say no though is because I'd rather have the extra 9 shots from the phosphor blaster. Wait, is it 9? No, sorry,
it'd be the extra 3 shots.
Yeah, you know what? I keep thinking heavy phosphor blaster.
Yeah.
So, you know, okay, yeah.
I think making them a 60-point model with a salvo 6 grab weapons and then a really strong wall of flame to protect them.
You know what you do? You put them up to next to the Promethean pipes and make those flamers torrent.
Yes, you do that too.
And make them torrent. Yeah.
So you buy a Promethean pipes.
So maybe that's what
from the Stronghold Assault book.
Yeah. But I don't know. You know what? The Cognis Flamer I could take or leave.
Okay. I thought the Breachers were where it's at. I love them. I'm liking the Destroyers just as much.
Oh yeah.
Maybe more. I'm not sure, but just as much.
I think both.
But I want the Flamer on mine.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I definitely agree with you. I think there's definitely a place for the Flamer. I'm just not sure if I'd want to spend the points because here's the thing. The Ad Mech army as it is, the Scutari, the Cult Mechanicus, they're very points hungry as it is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the upgrades are very expensive. Yeah. And it's one of those things that if it came down to needing an extra couple points for a full unit or a couple points to get some Cognis flamers,
you gotta shave somewhere.
I'm going to do the unit.
Yep.
I'm going to shave points off that one.
I mean, even if you don't upgrade to the Flamer, you still get your blaster. Not a bad weapon.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean,
it does have the Lumigen special rule, so
yeah. So I think there's arguments to be made for either case. Yep. My personal play style, I probably go a little bit more for the Phosphor Blaster than the Cognis Flamer, but I fully admit that that's a personal preference on play style.
Yeah, I'm the opposite, and I can definitely see the value the other way because Lumigen is a good rule you get on the Phosphor Blaster.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think both units really provide a really nice meaty core.
Yep.
To the army.
For the first time, no, I haven't read Chitauri. I really in depth. Like I haven't really gotten into it.
Okay.
But I feel that this is the first thing, from what I do remember from when playing against you, I think one time or twice actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have had 2 games.
That this is something that actually can hold its own.
Yes.
It can do a job. It's not overpriced.
It's not like the Scutari where you can shoot at it and then ignore it.
Yeah.
With the Cataphrons, you
got to deal with these guys.
You have to deal with them, yeah. And that's something that the Scutari were really lacking. The Doomcrawlers, you had to deal with.
The Doomcrawlers are amazing.
The Ruststalkers, you had to deal with them, but they were easy to deal with.
Okay, yeah.
The Scutari were just kind of like, I got nothing else to shoot at. Sure.
I'll shoot at that. Exactly.
Whereas with the Cataphrons, there's more of the opinion of, you know what, you have to
they're going to be at least 30 inches away. 30 or 36. I got to get to them and deal with them.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into a gunfight with them because they're probably going to win.
A lot of the time, I think they have the high strength. I think Elder jet bikes are a good counter to them because they can do the range and they can do the movement shenanigans.
Yep, sure. But I think you're going to be fighting your anti-tank weaponry at these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to be wasting those strength 6 shots. You're going to want to be hitting it with the strength 7, strength 8 shots. anything to get through that armor save as well.
Like I said, Cataphron Breachers, Cataphron Destroyers, I mean, 2 big thumbs up. Yeah. I love them.
And the fact that they're 2 wounds apiece,
yes.
toughness 5.
Yeah.
Like that's massive. That means the only thing that's insta-killing them is force weapons or strength 10 and D.
And this is, like again, we said it already, but this is a troop choice.
Yes.
These are both troop choices. Like not this is a heavy support for most other armies.
No, granted, we can't look at troop choice the same way we used to.
That's a very fair point. I'm going to bring it up later on, but yeah, that's a very good point too.
It's going to come into play in certain formations. Like you can finally do a combined arms with Cult Mechanicus, which is kind of a big deal. So having these guys with objective secured, sitting on a
well, that's the thing. Like for my Eldar. Or I'll talk about my Eldar. I would love to take an Eldar combined arms detachment and a Cult Mechanicus allied detachment. Take a Dominus and take Cataphron, either one, Breachers or Destroyers. I don't even care.
They're both good.
Both of them are going to do something for me.
Yeah,
I would totally use them as an allied detachment.
I have to admit, this
for any army.
Cult Mechanicus is actually the first book in a while that I've actually looked at and go, well, you have your own formations, but I kind of want to run this CAD.
Yeah, because Eldar was like that.
Okay, fair
I think
enough.
Eldar still is better at combined arms.
But the fact that you can have a toughness 5, 2 wound, objective secured unit.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden it goes from being, I need to deal with it, to, oh God, I need to deal with it, right? Because even with rapid mobility, because it's objective secured in a CAD.
And we still have all those canicles that can be affecting them, like the one being stubborn.
Yeah, or stealth and shrouded.
Stealth and shrouded.
Yeah, there's lots of things that can really. You do the canticle to reroll 1s and 2s or twin linked and whatnot.
Yep.
And you have a very, very destructive platform right there. So the Cataphrons give a lot of flexibility to an army that was they lacked durability.
Yep.
They get hit hard, but they couldn't take it back.
Now we got some toughness.
Yeah, we got some toughness. So anyway, that's the Cataphron Breachers and Destroyers. So I think we both agree. We both really like them.
love them. Yeah.
As always, leave your comments. If you guys saw something we missed, weigh in. Let us know how you plan on running them as well, if you plan on running them. Because I'm looking forward to seeing these on the table. I'm looking forward to playing around with them.
I don't want to go against them.
They're nice. They're a scary unit.
You need more. You have 6 right now. You need more.
Yeah. You only bought 2 boxes of them.
Yeah, need more.
Need more. I want to get 24 of these guys. Woo! I want 12 destroyers and 12 breachers. But
need less.
Need less. That's the problem with some of these units. It's like, I need more. But anyway, so next up we're going to talk about the Tech Priest Dominus. Now that one's going to be a vault video. So as always, we're going to have the link below. So definitely check out that link. If you're a vault member, just check on it. It'll take you right to where you need to go. If you're not a vault member, you can still click the link. It's going to take you to a free 7-day trial. And you're going to be able to get access to everything for 7 days. So that's all our reviews, that's all our campaigns, our painting tutorials, tips, more of us if this is what you like, or more of Matt or Dave, or whichever personalities are the ones you like the best. You're going to get more of that content. And it's great. There's a lot of content. If you're not satisfied, after just 7 days, you just say no, thank you, and go on your way type of thing. But there's so much good content. I mean, the 7 days hooked me.
Yeah.
That's how it hooked me a couple of years back. So definitely worth checking out.
Come watch the discussion on the Dominus. I think you're going to like this one.
Oh, the Dominus is a lot of fun. Yeah, the Dominus is good. So, as always, hope you enjoyed this part of the review, and happy wargaming.